Hey ladies and gents, we are back with some Avorion, and I realize that most of my videos are usually geared toward mid and late game, and there seems to be an upswing in people that want to see stuff that's from early game, especially with making money. I didn't realize Avorion has become more popular. Thank God. This is one of the best games that was created in the last couple of years, in my opinion, especially in the sandbox genre, but great game. I'm glad there's some interest in here. However, we do have a lot of new players that are still trying to figure out how to play this game, and most of my stuff has been geared toward that other, the mid to late game. And I'm still going to do those videos, but I'm going to do this early stuff as well. Now, I've taken my game that I normally play at. This is an insane difficulty. We're going to put it back to normal just for this videos to show you what the normal costs would that you would normally make when you do this stuff. And we're also going to, if you haven't did this here, pause and build mode, make sure that's on. I think it's a default, and I usually put the collision level at 0.25, or most of the time it's 0.5, one of these others. I'm not a sadist. I don't do this because I hate having stuff completely destroyed when you run into something like an asteroid. I'm not that big of a sadist. So what I'm talking about here at making money in early game is I've scouted this region out. I'm going to do this with my own ships. I'm not going to start a new game and start over, because it's going to be hours and hours of gameplay just to show you some early stuff, early money making that you don't, and I'm not going to make you watch, like I said, tens of hours of video just to pick this stuff up. So we're just going to cover stuff real simple, real fast, as quick as possible. So early game money making. Now when you start out, you're going to spawn here, usually something that's got a shipyard. And this is, of course, on the outside edge. There's the edge of the map, and this is where you typically spawn in a new game, is in one of these factions close to the outside edge. Usually it's right, at least the first bar out, roughly. So I've spawned here. I've started a new game. Now I've already checked all this entire faction just for this video. So what we're looking at here is the unknown hidden masses. You don't want to go into there. Those are bad. Those usually are loaded with pirates. However, they do have a lot of stuff in them. However, you don't want to go in there until you have a pretty decent ship. The green ones, which are the unknown energy signatures, are factions or faction ships. All these little points right here that I've got were green at one time. I've already scouted them, so all these points right here were green. They were unknown energy signatures, and of course, until I export them. So stay out of the yellow, which is unknown hidden masses, and just try to stay in the green. Now I've upgraded the ship here, of course, to do this. This was one of my first early ships. This thing is 16,000 trinium and about 93,000 credits. I will play in the outside systems here until I get that amount of 16,000 trinium to get this ship built before I even start trekking toward the center of the galaxy. Why? Because having a well-built ship is important. So I got 16,000 HP. I will be able to survive easily in this general area with this ship. Even though it took me time to get the 16,000 titanium, or 17,000 plus the credits, it's just worthwhile to spend the time. There's a couple things about shipbuilding that I want to explain to you guys early on, which of course is multiple engines. Make sure you have multiple engines on your ship. This is going to come important when you start going into the hidden mass sectors with pirates that shoot torpedoes. That's why I always have multiple engines, because you'll get an engine knocked out and you're dead in space. The other thing, of course, is energy. Always make sure your ship produces roughly, well, in this case I got too many systems on there, but let's go to the base system. Let's take these all off here, and I'll see what I'm talking about. Energy wise, 1.84 and 10.48 gigawatts. So I'm almost 10 times more energy than I need. You should have at least 2 to 3 times more energy than you required energy for a reason, and I'll explain that when we do a different video on moving around, escaping things, and speed and all that kind of stuff. Make sure when you build your initial ships, multiple engines, lots of energy, as much energy as you can put into it as possible. Like I said, I have 10 times more than I need. However, I usually shoot 2 to 3 times at least for a minimum. The other thing is, of course, I'm not sure if this one has it on there, but we'll try, is integrity blocks, integrity field generators. This ship is mostly covered with it. I think just one fin on the back doesn't have it. This thing right here, the integrity field generator, will it essentially makes the whatever the generator covers, it makes that specific piece 4 times stronger. So integrity field generators, put it on everything. Make sure your ship is entirely blue. This will make it 4 times tougher. So those 3 things, when you're early shipbuilding, make sure you do. And we're going to do a video on the early shipbuilding too. But right now, we are just going to do early money making. So I've scouted this system out to show you some how to make money without even really doing much other than just flying around and collecting them. You're going to want to scout this anyway, your first initial sector or your first initial faction, to make this money. I don't recommend getting too carried away and start heading toward right to the center. Scout this out, because there is $1 million to $2 million cash to be made before you even leave this sector. And you can actually do it to the next one. As you move up further, you can do it to the next one as well. But the cash is easy to make is what we call claimable asteroids and secret stashes. And secret stashes are important because they not only give you cash, but they also give you really good equipment. And they're not easy to find. Well, to a certain degree they are, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. Most of the systems, I've did 2 other systems like this. I've scouted them out along the edge, and they all pretty much have the same anything. They have anywhere from 8 to 10 claimable asteroids within the green unknown energy signatures. So that means that within the faction itself that I can jump into, and there's going to be asteroids in those systems. Okay? So I don't even have to jump into an unknown mass. I can just simply jumping into the green. Green is good, yellow bad. Remember that. So by simply going around and checking each one of these systems, I'm going to find claimable asteroids without even have to worry about jumping out and jumping into a pod of baddies. This system right here was one of the yellow ones. I jumped in. There's 10 ships of the pirates. That was another one. There's 14 ships, right? So these are yellows. I jumped in just to show in this video. They have 10 and 14 ships. You jump into that early on in the game, you're going to get fucked, railed, left sideways, and you're going to have to start all over. So don't jump into yellow systems. Stay inside the green ones as much as possible. The other thing is, and we'll put this thing back up here before I forget, just to help us out, we're going to use system-wise, we're going to use a radar, a radar upgrade, and we're going to need some jumps to get this rolling. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time jumping 2 systems at a time that you normally would. So let's put those in there. And what that deep space scanner is going to show you is the yellow sectors all the way around me. Do not jump into them. However, you're going to have to jump from here to here to here, just being able to do 2 sectors at a time. That's just all you're going to get until you get more system upgrades or you get more hypercores. However, there is a little something you can remember. Jumping along the lines of this, what we call the gate system, in there, between systems there's a gate. And I'll show you that when I jump back into system here. Jumping on these spots, for some reason, typically you're not going to jump into a hidden mass. I don't know why. I mean, we're talking 99 out of 100 times. There might be occasionally one, there might be a yellow in this line, but for the most part, I've never, every place I've gone, there seems to be, as long as there's a line there of a gate system, you won't see a yellow. I don't know why, it's just the way it happens. So there's one close here, but there's still, if you stay on the line as you're jumping to the next system, for the most part, seems like you miss them. Just something I've observed. Doesn't know if it's necessarily scientifically proven, but remember that if you're going from system to system, just simply follow the gate line. What is a gate? A gate is this here. It's a square. If you go through that, it's going to cost me 270 credits to go from there to the south-southwest gate, which would be south-southwest would be here. So I can jump from here to here by going through the gate. However, it's going to cost me credits. But I can do it manually. I can pick it on the map and just simply jump there. Once again, stay on the gate line. For some reason, hidden mass sectors don't seem to be on that line. Not 100%, but you're going to fare better than simply just launching yourself into space and getting shot to shit. The next thing, why do I keep hitting the escape bar? So 8 to 10 asteroids possible inside this original sector you start. That's inside the green. Jump around, find these, right? This is on normal level, so you're going to start around 60 to 70,000 credits per claimable asteroids. If you start out the beginner level, you're talking about 20 to 25. Insane is about anywhere from 90 to 125,000. Everything scales depending on the difficulty, right? So being this is normal level, we're talking 60, 70, 80,000 credits initially when you start claiming asteroids. So think about that. 10 of them, you're talking 700 to 900,000 credits just by doing the claiming the asteroids in your first initial faction. That's a lot of credits. That's going to help you build your ship, get a bigger, better ship, better weapons, and all that kind of stuff, just by simply going around and claiming those asteroids. So we're going to jump to an asteroid here. We're going to claim it. I've already scouted all of them. There is actually 10 of them inside this system. We're going to jump over here to this place here, and I'll show you how to do the whole claim the asteroid thing, and we'll see what kind of cash we get out of the deal. Alright, so normally you start out with 10,000 credits to build your ship. That kind of stuff here. We're going to jump out and spend the time, spend the effort to go around, mine as much titanium as... What did I forget? Well, anyway, you watch the first part of the video. So, mine all asteroids. They are easy to find even without a detector. And I'll explain what a detector is. Simply pull yourself out and then take the asteroid field and move it up into something bright. You can see the big asteroids. Those are already existing mines. However, there is one right there that's not. And it's easy to see because they're usually quite large and they usually have protrusions sticking out of them. So there's one claimable asteroid here down at the bottom. And what I usually do is, once I zoom out, then I just kind of hover over it and I click on it. And then I have it marked out here. So now I'm at 37 kilometers from it. We'll roll out and pick that up. So usually easy to find. Pull it out, put it up against the background of some light, and you can usually pretty easily see where claimable asteroids are. I'm not even using the detector, just simply doing this. Detectors shows you valuable objects. The white ones that you first get in the beginning of the game will simply tell you there's something in here. As you get better detectors, they'll eventually show you exactly where they're at. By the time you get to the red, the exotic, they'll show you the entire sector, and they'll highlight any valuable objects. The blues, the greens, will just say once you got to get within 5 kilometers, then it'll highlight. However, for claimable asteroids, it's pretty easy to find them. Just zoom out, put them up against some light, and you can usually see them pretty easily. So we're going to claim this one to kind of show you what money we're going to get at. This is, of course, normal level. You're going to get less at the beginner and easy level, and more as you progress. Everything's scaled in this game. The enemies, money, and all that kind of stuff as you move up toward the insane level here. So let's move in next to this, and we're going to pick it up at under 2 kilometers. There we go. Let's interact. We'll claim it, push F again, and we're going to sell it. So we're at 97,000 credits. Normal level. So since we're already friendly with it, as you get your reputation gets better and better with this faction. So your first one, you're probably going to get 60, 70,000 credits. Your next one, you're going to get probably 70, 80,000 credits. By the time you get to the third or fourth, and your reputation gets better and better, these credits are going to be these asteroids are going to get more. You're going to get more money for the asteroids. So 10 asteroids, starting at between 70, 80, 90,000 credits, whatever it is going to be. You're talking, once again, 7 to 8, 900,000 credits just in asteroids that you can claim so we're going to sell it. Reputation increase. Now my relations are good with this, the corporation. So the next asteroid I go find, that's a claimable asteroid, I'm going to get more money, more money, and we're going to get better relations. And I still have roughly 9 more asteroids to go. However, we're not going to go do that. We're going to look at something else that's also really important. There is a number of systems that are not on the jump gate system, and you can see the lines here. These are jump gate lines. These systems over here were green at one time. I jumped into them, but they're not on the gate system. These are the systems you want to find. What these have in them are called miners. There's light miners and heavy miners. There's usually 1 or 2 ships. But what's interesting about these systems, they usually have an asteroid. Doesn't mean they will. Everything in this game is RNG based. So some of the stuff I'm telling you might not happen in your game, but for the most part, it could happen. But there seems to be generally the rule that you will find an asteroid in these systems, plus some other really interesting stuff that I'll explain here shortly. So the systems are easy to find. They're not on the gate system. They're going to be off by themselves. So that's one there. There's one there. There's one there, and there's one there. So there's 4 of these systems, or 4 of these systems in this faction. They're not on the gate system, so they're pretty easy to find. There will be green. They'll be green though. They'll be like this. You'll see these. They won't be attached to the gate system, so pretty easy to find. What's interesting about them is we're going to jump to that real quick. Is that they will have some. Not only will they have sometimes an asteroid, sometimes not an asteroid, but they always seem to have. Let's jump in here quick. And we're going to pull back out here, and we're going to look for a claimable asteroid. Lots of... Oh, right there it is. There's one right there. See him? See if I pull back out here, and you can see how big he is. There's a claimable asteroid right there. That's the one we're looking for. You just pull it back out, get behind some light, and you can usually see him pretty easy. Once we find him, we're just going to scroll over here until we hover. Yep, now we're going to click on him, and then we come back over here. He's at 8.4 kilometers. We'll roll over and pick him up here quick. So this is going to be another quick money. Once again, I'm jumping within the green. That means there's going to be friendly guys here. If there's a pirate or Zotan show up, they're not even going to bother with you most of the time. I don't think I have a gun on this thing. I'm just jumping within the green systems, which means I'm relatively safe. Let's roll over here and pick this guy up quick. So, once again, once you get close to him, push F, claim it, and sell it. Right? We'll probably make another 100k here. However, we're not going to do this because I'm going to use this asteroid myself. So I'm not going to. It's on a warp point, or it's on a wormhole. So this is going to be one of my outside sectors that I'll eventually use. The other thing that's usually in this system is what we call secret stashes. Right now, you can't see them because they're super small. However, they do exist. If you're I would suggest if you get in to find these systems, this is the systems that you want to mine. There's a lot of titanium here. I would run around with a mining ship until I found what I'm looking for. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you what typically happens here. Wherever there's a large cluster of asteroids, there's what we call secret stashes. And some systems there could be 1, or there could be 5. But simply just flying by these little systems, or by these little clusters, a lot of times you can pick them out here. And I won't put the object detector on until I find the first one here. But simply, like I said, flying by these little clusters like this, you can sometimes pick out the secret stash, and they'll be real small. They're just a container. However, they do have a fair amount of stuff in them. Nope, not there. That is an asteroid. So let's go try this one over here, and see if there's one over here. I'll still be doing late game stuff too, guys. Don't worry about that. This is just going to be for some of the beginners, guys. Some of these videos. Let's see if we can find one in here. They're not exceptionally easy to see, just because they are so small. All right. Apparently, there's not one. Well, there's got to be one here. Let's put that detector on there. The detector, like I said, is something that's going to be, there's a radar upgrade, but the detector here is going to highlight, detect all interesting objects. This is the hidden stuff. So we're going to slap them in here, and we're going to find out exactly how many of them are here. Oh, there's one right over there. I missed him. That is showing me the highlighted stuff, which is the one asteroid, and there's a couple secret stashes, and there's one secret stash over here. I didn't go over that far. But flying through these asteroid belts relatively close, you should be able to pick those. In fact, let's turn that off and we'll see if we can see if we can find it. You just got to get close enough to the asteroid, and they're usually found in where there's a large bunch of asteroids, like really close. You're not going to find it out here where all the asteroids are scattered. You're going to find it like this cluster right here, where there's a large cluster of asteroids. So even if you don't have an object detector, you can usually find these. And most of the time, like I said, with the mining systems like this, with these mining ships, there could be anywhere between 1 and 5 of them. Once you get an object detector, just get a white one. You can, early game, if you can't find anything better than that, it'll just tell you that there's something in system. So once you get close enough, of course, then it's not too hard to find. There they are. There's a secret stash. It's just a matter of flying around. If I was going to seriously start looking, I would, of course, start mining this system. Titanium, that means I'm already into the asteroid field, and then it's a little easier to find because you're already trekking through it to pick up titanium or iron, whatever you're looking for. What's interesting about these is they usually have a lot of cash in them, and of course the turrets are really good. And there's also systems upgrades. So we'll secret stash here, we'll open him. So I got an advanced trading system and 53,000 credits. Sometimes there's one system, or sometimes there's 2 turrets. Sometimes you get 2 things, sometimes you get 1. The advanced trading system by itself, if I go to sell that, if I don't want to use it, that is pretty good. It's rare, so I might get probably 50 to 100K just by selling it if I don't want to use it. So that's one. And let's put that system detector back on. We'll go do one more quick here to end the video. Yep, there he is. So now it showed up the other 2. Let's run over there. And of course, there's the claimable asteroid that we looked at earlier. Let's roll on over there. Spend the time, mine the asteroids. As long as you stay in the green sectors, you should be fine. Just remember that. Try not to get off the beaten path. Don't mine early game outside of green sectors. There's plenty of mineable asteroids, whether they're titanium or iron, inside these green sectors. If you're mining outside of that, in some open space or whatever, you could possibly still you're gonna get ganked. I'll be honest. Pirates, Zotans will jump in when you're mining. If you're mining inside these green sectors, you're relatively safe because the whoever owns the faction that owns it will, for the most part, probably keep you protected. So let's check out one more secret stash, and we'll call this a video for now. And we're gonna keep doing these, just little tips and tricks, tips and tactics to help you through first part of Avorion. And we got a nice mining turret, which is pretty decent, 53,000 credits, and this is a titanium one, so that's awful nice to get that. I don't have to buy a titanium mining turret now because I got one. So there's one more secret stash. We won't go get him, but hopefully this helps you guys when you start out in the game. Just explore that initial faction, collect the cash. We're talking probably between 1 and 2 million just in claimable asteroids and secret stashes in the first initial, your first initial faction. So spend the time, get a nice ship built, collect the easy money before you start trekking into the game. And we're going to do more videos of these tips and tactics. So hey, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good night.